There is a specific kind of anger that spreads very fast right now, and not the kind that comes from personal loss, not a grave or exhaustion. It kinds of feel like collective, like everyone around you already knows who the enemy is, and you just need to pick a side. And I've been watching this kind of anger a lot lately, and what really interests me isn't the anger itself. I think it's what happens right after it starts because the moment collective anger appears, something else appears with it, like a direction or a target. And that kind of list gets made very, very quickly. So recently, like just a few days ago, like today is May, like I don't know, like a few days ago, Starbucks Korea released a tumbler, and the design and maybe the keyword like marketing how he um, it contained some kind of image like it resembled a tank like associated with the May 18th Gwangju uprising, and the company apologized and the person who was responsible was removed. So by most definitions of accountability, that's response, but the anger didn't stop. It's still like whoa, but the anger didn't stop, like it's still going on right now. And that's the part I think keep thinking about, because if the anger was about the image, the response addressed it. But if the anger was about something else, then the image was never really the point. So what was the anger actually for? Here's what I think was already in the room before it was this happened. So Jung Yong-jin, he's a chairman of Shinsegae, which owns Starbucks Korea. He is someone the public had already filled under a specific category. Like a few years ago, he posted a word in his own Instagram, like 멸공. That means destroy communism. And this went viral and it became a label. And these kind of labels don't disappear. So when the Tumblr controversy broke, that label came back and suddenly the equation looked like this. Starbucks image is Shinsegae. Shinsegae is Jin, and Jin is 멸공, and 멸공 is like political alignment, and they are enemies. So each step felt very logical, but the change moved so fast, and I'm not sure anyone stopped to check if it each link actually held. So did he deny May 18th? I haven't seen evidence about that, but in the speed of that equation, it didn't seem to matter. So this is a part that I think is worth slowing down on. Like we have a habit, and I mean all of us, not even one, not just one side, of turning complexity into a single line. So when a person becomes a symbol, like a symbol becomes a side and side becomes like an enemy, and like once someone is an enemy, everything they're connected to becomes fair game. So Starbucks becomes Shinsegae, becomes Jin, becomes a political position, becomes something to destroy, like literally. So there were videos of people smashing their Starbucks tumblers, like cracking down the cups, like posting it very proudly. And I'm not saying that anger has no basis. I'm saying about watch the speed. Watch how fast the categories like formed. Like watch how little space there was between this happened and I know exactly who is responsible and what must be done. Like but that speed is not clarity. I think it's a kind of a habit, the habit of collapsing everything into one line because one line is easier to act on. So here's what I actually want to ask, like a boycott, a brand destroyed, a company reputation like built over decades, like damaged in days. And that's not a small thing, that's economic weight. They're like real jobs, like hundred, like no, more than like bunch of people, like they're all in real jobs. So, like a real consequences that move through an economy in ways that are very hard to trace once they start. So, I want to ask, who does this serve? Or is this justice? Or is this a moment where collective anger found a target that was already marked and moved toward it because the path was already there? I'm not answering that. But I think the question deserved more than the speed we gave it, because when we collapse complexity into a single line and then act on that line with real economic force, we should at least ask, who benefits from us moving this fast, and who taught us that speed and certainty are the same thing as being right? So I don't think the people who are smashing their tumblers and boycott, like they're not bad people. I think they're moving inside a structure that rewarded speed, and that may certainly feel like a virtue, that may slowing down feel like a betrayal. And that structure, whoever built it, whatever side it like serves, that's what I keep watching, not the anger, the architecture of the anger. And here's what I keep coming back to, like collapsing complexity into a single line. That's not a political habit, that's a human one. So we've always done it like faster, cheaper, because it requires less from us. The brain doesn't naturally separate. It actually, it's more easy to connect, and it find patterns, like builds categories and moves on. And that's not a flaw, it's kind of a survival. So but survival logic and justice logic are not the same thing. And the question I want to leave here isn't about Starbucks or Jung Yongjin or May 18th. I think it's more simpler than that. If collapsing is what we do by nature, then separating must be a choice. And if it's a choice, why is it one so few of us make?